Hello, this is John.
And Sheree.
And this is Word Explosion Outreach. And you don't know this, but this is our second time doing this video. Because, don't try to use new technology, let's see. So, we're going to try and bring as much energy. We are continuing to talk about the 5 love languages. And I still keep forgetting them. So, it's the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. It is, don't intrude, let me see if I can remember them. Words of affirmation, quality time, I kept forgetting that. Physical touch, acts of service, and gift giving. Woo! Yay! Oh, yeah, no. She's excited because I kept forgetting quality time.
Yeah.
So, no, I wish I still had that video because that was fun.
But
no,
that's okay.
It's fun every time.
Yes.
And, that's what happens when you create things. Sometimes it's just... Sometimes it's just a fire and you lose everything.
That's okay.
I like to say, if you're doing anything creative, it sucks when you lose stuff. But sometimes, that gives you the chance to refine it, and, the final product will be better for it.
Yes.
Or maybe we're just going to rush through this, and that'll be fine.
No.
Oh, no, I can't even look at my phone now.
Oh, wow.
I have my notes on there.
Do you remember what it was?
No, I do. I got it on the tablet.
Okay.
Okay. Woo.
That's even better.
I know. Okay. So, hi. We're talking about gift giving today.
Gift giving.
So, So, this is the 3rd so far. We'll continue on and do the other ones. So, gift giving, it's, it's kind of hard because, there are gifts given in the Bible, but a lot of it is sort of symbolic gifts. So, I know we've talked before about this. The one I always think of when it's, gifts is, gifts of the Magi.
Yeah.
So, the wise men that were given to Jesus on his birth. So, we've all seen the Nativity. We know what it looks like. Little baby Jesus.
Yes. And the wise man.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I should bring it up. So, so it's Matthew 2:11. Here we go. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. We didn't even talk about what these were.
No.
I think in the end they're almost more symbolic gifts than anything else. So, But again, so it's probably one of the most obvious gifts given in the Bible. And so they would bring gifts to honor Jesus, honor God, honor Joseph and Mary. And so it's almost giving a gift as God is giving a gift to humanity in the form of Jesus Christ. So that's sort of a combination of literal gifts being given and also a symbolic gift of hey, here is a savior, here is, part of God given to humanity, and sort of sacrifice of that we come into later too. So again, the Bible is full of these symbols. So, Genesis starts with, the best gift that we get. We have our life. We are alive.
Yes.
And sort of the world at large is God's majesty, God's beauty is given to us.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
I think that's one thing people sort of forget. And people sometimes become almost neglectful for the world and the environment.
Don't get me started.
And, all of this, luckily you don't see my messy room, but it's all a gift from God.
Yes.
I always love being out in nature because I feel that's the it's just raw.
Wow.
That is the beauty of the world,
Yes.
God's vision for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, appreciate that gift.
Yes.
And like I said, the Bible is full of these symbolic gifts. Some people are gifted with powers, gifted with titles in the Bible. God confers these things upon people. These are sort of symbolic gifts given to people. So, and, like I said, there are also other gifts given and also punishments given, which you could say, these are sort of punishments for what people have done. So again, gifts can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. It can, be a sign of that love and that compassion from God. And again, we talked before about, like, the sacrifice of Jesus was a gift to humanity.
Yes.
I know. The other video I asked you the question, but so John 3:16, God so loved the world, he gave off his begotten son. So it is that I'm going to talk about it this time now.
Okay.
But you say, I feel bad because you talk about the Bible so eloquently.
So funny.
You do. Yeah. But, so sorry you get my version this time.
That's good.
So God sacrificed Jesus as sort of, a sacrifice on our behalf to give us that freedom to live, to have free will to do our own things. Yeah. God saw all of our sins, and through the sacrifice of Jesus on our behalf, washed us of those sins. We started anew. And that's one thing that, comes into just being a Christian, is that strong idea of, by accepting Jesus, by accepting that sacrifice, that gift of his sacrifice, we are given the gift of free will, of, possible heavenly immortality, faith of God, and all the things upon it, So, again, it's kind of interesting how, that reciprocity of gifts is in the Bible, that sort of back and forth, whether it's like a physical gift given or a title given, and then we get almost something symbolic back from it. Yeah. So, makes sense?
Yes, it does.
So, yeah, and, throughout the Bible, it's just a lot of this back and forth, and it ties into sort of in relationships, whether it's romantic or just people acquaintances, coworkers, embody your relationships with some of that love and that consideration. Like, if somebody gives you a little gift, give them a little gift back. It's important to have that back and forth, and not everybody feels so strongly about gifts. Some people are like, oh, we don't give gifts. It's maybe not a common thing they did in their family, stuff like that. So in my family, like, I feel bad. I'm calling out my mom again. So, my family, like, we always give gifts. It's not always something big. And my mom would always, like, try her hardest to get, like, what exactly I wanted. I'd be like, I want the CD, and it would be like the B-sides, or like a demo of a CD of like the album I wanted, but not quite exactly what I wanted. But like, I understood my mom tried, and it was still something like I appreciated and I enjoyed, but it's like, kind of wish you got me the other one. But like, and I'm sure we've all been that, where like, you have like a weird aunt gives you a gift, and it's like, I don't know about this. So, like, but you're like, well, I'm not gonna say anything because I know she tried hard. Like, I always think back to that, what's that movie? A Christmas Story, where like the one boy, the younger kid in the movie, gets like bunny pajamas from like an aunt, and the aunt like doesn't know how old he is anymore, and like he's too old for bunny pajamas. And it's just something like that, where it's like, it's like they always say, it's the thought behind it. And really, like, that is the whole point of giving gift. It is an expression of that person's love. So, you can go forever of like monetarily, like, ooh, I want this, I want that, I want all these things. And it may mean a lot to you. It doesn't necessarily mean a lot to the person giving it. It's sort of like the reaction, the feelings behind the gift that are the most important part of it. So, embody that when you give things to people. Like, I always like to give friends, like, if I see something in a store that reminds me of someone, I will buy it and give them little gifts. Like, I've given Sheree a lot of little gifts here and there. Because, like, I think of things, and I'm like, oh, we like similar art and stuff like that, too. So, it'll be like, ooh, I think this is cool, and, like, Sheree will think it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
So things like that. And that's the meaning behind of giving these gifts, is, like, you know, that acknowledge of like, oh, I'm thinking of you, I'm being considerate of you, and, you know, I'm going to show you that I care about you, I think about you, so I'm giving you this love, and a little physical embodiment of that love, you know, a little love packet. Sounds love packet sounds nicer than the love bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sheree recently learned what a love bomb is.
Yeah.
So,
I had no idea. But he'll go into explain that
so,
later on.
I know. She asked Siri.
We'll get to that one.
But like, I don't want to give money to Apple, so no, Siri can be quiet.
Siri,
on this one.
okay. Because I was like, hey, what is a love bomb?
Yeah,
I had no idea that it was even a term.
Yeah. So love bombing is something that usually it often goes along with gifts, and it's the idea of like someone will overcompensate for doing something maybe like negative or treating you negatively or doing something, you know, maybe not as positive or being more neglectful, and they will overcompensate by maybe buying you more things or being extra nice. It's kind of similar when you like, not always, but like when you start a new relationship and there's that nice happy honeymoon phase, everything's new and exciting.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like people that kind of cycle in and out of that, where like, you know, they'll just like really be strong and really super into you, like I'm always available, and then they'll like disappear.
Wow.
And then they'll like come back and they're like, oh, but I love you and everything, and here's a bunch of gifts and we're going out every day, and then they'll disappear again. And it's like it's a manipulation tactic, but it's not always like a conscious thing. Like some people do, and it is kind of a malicious thing. Huh?
You don't think they know that they're doing it?
I don't think like
the bomber?
They most definitely do not see it as a manipulation thing.
Oh.
They may see it as like, oh, they don't care, but, you know I was a jerk, so I'm just going to buy them this thing, so they shut up. Yeah, kind of thing,
wow.
where it's like, you know, here's your hush money.
Okay, so
like,
that's how they, okay,
you know,
justify it. Okay.
Yeah, and you see it a lot with, like, narcissists. Sometimes they'll do this, or abusive people, whether it's, like, emotional or physical abusive. They will often, like, love bomb to, like, compensate for, like, oh, I called you a horrible thing the other night, or I hit you, and, like, you know, but I love you. I bought you this gift, or, like, and it doesn't even have to be gifts. Like, they can be like, oh, I did all the dishes, and, you know, I cleaned up the house. Like, I'm a good person, because I did these nice things to compensate the horrible thing I did.
Oh, wow.
And, like, be cognizant of that, because, like, love bombing, it's not a good thing. Like, someone needs to be consistent in a relationship. So whenever things are wildly inconsistent or wildly out of character, usually it's a sign that there's a problem. Usually they're trying to hide something from you, or, you know, they feel differently about you in a way. But, like, I always tell people, like, if you're in a relationship and you're not happy with where the status quo is, like, on average, like, you're not happy. Like, that's not a great relationship. Like, things will always get worse. They can get a little better. But, like, if you're not just happy with the mundane parts of a relationship, like, you need to rethink that relationship. Or you need to reassess it, or maybe, you know, just discuss and figure out, like, can this become more of what I want out of this? So.
Well, what if the happiness is, you know, your own perception? Maybe you just don't feel happy with you, and it's not even the relationship. It could be with anybody, because you're not happy within yourself. So that's like the first thing that you should really, you know, before you really get into these relationships, you have to, like you were saying earlier about healing, you know what I'm saying? You have to heal yourself when you go to, you know, when you're going into these relationships and expecting people to make you happy. That's a false sense, because happiness is from within. Like, you have to be happy within yourself. Just like we were talking earlier about being the gift. Yourself is the gift, because like God created you, which He gifted you, you know, with life. Like you said earlier, He gave you this life. You're now in human form, and it's like you got all this beautiful, like you were talking about the nature, and you like, you know, it's all this beautiful world, and how could you not be happy? You know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody is a valid human being. Nobody's perfect. That's one thing.
Yeah.
I've done a sermon on this before where like nobody's perfect. Like I feel like if we're perfect, we're done. Like life is a journey and we're all moving at different speeds. Like, but eventually we're all gonna get there. We don't know when. But we're gonna get there at some point. And I like to think like, you know, you run your own race and you are at your own pace and you're gonna get there. So like we're all in process. We're not perfect people, but you are a valid human being, no matter how you are. You don't have to be Christian, you don't have to be anything. You can be Satanist, I don't care.
Right.
Like, but you should ideally want to be the best person you can be. And in general, be a good person to those around you. So, but on that same accord, like, you don't have to be a perfect person. You don't have to be, like, totally together, totally have your life together. I feel like if you are waiting for that, you may never end up in a relationship. Because you may never, especially if you're depressed, like, you may never see yourself as that perfect person who's going to be, like, perfect for someone else.
Right.
But, like, I like to think of it as, like, putting a puzzle together. Like, you're each, like, separate little pieces coming together and connecting. Like, you give me a little bit of this, I give you a little bit of that. Like, a relationship should be complementary. Like, each of you provide something that maybe the other one is missing, and together you become a whole together. Not that, you know, and it goes back to the idea of, like, reciprocity, that back and forth, where, like, one person should not be giving. Like, but maybe sometimes you just need to be creative and more knowledgeable of what you are capable of and what you can provide to someone. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, woe is me, like, nobody loves me, I got nothing to give to a relationship. And that's a lie. Like, everybody has some worth to give.
Of course,
like, even if it is, like, you know, that's also part of why we're talking about 5 love languages, where it can come down to, like, maybe you can't give gifts, but, like, you can give words of affirmation, you can give physical touch. Like, definitely people have no problem giving physical touch, you know, in their own way. Yeah. And, you know, you can show your love in other ways that maybe are, like, a little less traditional in some ways. So you can still provide something to this relationship. But again, going back to, like, the love bombing and, like, if you feel like you are not safe in a relationship, you need to talk to someone. You need to seek out help. Like, there are plenty of nonprofits all over the nation, the world, everywhere. Even if it's just to talk to somebody you trust. But if, you know, there are ways to get out of that situation. And very often with, like, love bombing and abusive relationships, is like people feel cut off. Like, that's sort of like what a lot of abusive people do, because they know what they do is wrong. So they try to keep their partner away from other people that would say, like, get away from that person. So they try to cut you off. They try to keep you from, like, money to be able to do things. You know, they don't let you socialize.
Oh,
so
it's dangerous. So
if somebody does not let you have positive outside people in your life, then that's a problem. Like, you know, you can be perfectly happy in a relationship, but it's still good to have people outside of that relationship that you are connected to, whether it's family, friends, whatever. Like, I'm a strong believer in, like, if you're happy and in a healthy relationship, you should have a happy, healthy relationship outside of that with other people. Like, you know, everybody needs sort of a space to get away from their partner. Not necessarily way, but, like, you know,
that didn't come out right at all.
But like, you know, I think of it as, like, I don't know, like you're playing a sport. You don't just hang out with the team all the time. No, you know, something like that. Or like coworkers, you just don't hang out with them all the time. Not all the time. Everybody needs like some space to separate and do their own thing, sort of reset.
Yes, of course.
And, like, this goes back to, like, quality time, where, like, everybody has a different amount of, like, what is enough quality time, what isn't enough quality time. So again, these are things, it just all comes back to communication and sort of, like, defining expectations of the relationship, what you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
So we've come a long way from just giving gifts, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So again, like, gift giving, it can go infinite in material. Like, you can be like, buy me a house, buy me a car, blah, 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 It's not so much the material thing giving. Okay, being given. Word salad. Yeah. So it's the feelings behind it. It's the fact that it is an expression of love. You are showing the person that you care about them, you're considering them, and you saw this as something that they would enjoy. And it goes into, like, if you like getting that, then you can reciprocate. You can give back either other gifts, or you can give back in other love languages. Different ways of showing that you care. Again, it's not always going to be like a 1-for-1. Like, you bought me a car, I buy you a car, because, like, that's not reasonable, things like that. But, like, oh, you did something very nice for me, I do something nice for you, and, it's up to the people in that relationship to define what is equitable. And when people do not feel equitable in a relationship is when things fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. I know we were discussing earlier as far as the gift giving, back to being obligated, feeling like you're under obligation. If somebody gives you a gift, I understand the reciprocation aspect, but if someone gives you a gift, for an example, if we're out on a date, and the guy treats you, which is like the normal thing to do, is for the guy to treat the girl. But
Sheree's very traditional.
And but when they do, you're not at liberty to reciprocate anything.
Yeah.
Because that's a gift that they gave you. And just like if somebody, you have to be able to say no. Mm-hmm. If you don't, like, if someone buys you a car and that this person is going to start calling you and coming by every day and wanting to put gas in this car and all this kind of stuff. And if this is not a person that you're going to want to deal with a long time, you don't accept that gift. So that's the kind of like manipulation part. Yeah. Because somebody will buy you something to try to control you or to make you feel obligated to do something. Yeah. And then that's when the gift giving is wrong. Mm-hmm. So you have to be careful as far as how you're receiving these gifts. And guys, be careful of these girls that you're giving these gifts to, because you don't want to be considered, I gave you this and I gave you that. And then you're used. And she just got a gift from you and got a gift from Billy, and then turn around and Tyrone called and he wants to give her, a Lexus or whatever. No. Don't be foolish with your gift giving. Be wise when you're gift giving, because like John was saying, it's an act of love. Mm-hmm. It's an actual act of love. So you don't want to be accepting this love if you can't give it back. If you're not willing to, love the person in return, or, just don't be that manipulative person and accepting stuff. And people have feelings, because then you take the gift from the wrong one. Hey, I've been noticing things that's going on, and it's very, very sad to me. Just recently I heard a story where this guy, I think it was in Madison Heights. I don't know what the story was, but what happened was they found out he came home talking to the girlfriend. Something didn't go right in his world. He stabbed her, set the place on fire, and stabbed himself. I don't know what the situation was, but whatever it wasn't worth your life.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It's not worth your life. Why would you, suicide's gone up, killing within these relationships, these abusing, people abusing one another. Where is this stuff coming from? Like, what's going on? Where is the love in this? Because that's not love. I don't know if people really know what love is. And just like we were saying in the previous episode, love is God. Okay? Love is God. So where God is, that's where love is. So you have to know who God is. And you need to take the time to investigate. Find out about this love. Go read your Bible. Find out where this love is so that you can get some of it. Because killing each other, hurting each other, love bombing each other, faking it out, that's not real. You know, we have to get real. We're all here together. Just like John was talking about, you know, this beautiful earth, this world we live in. We have to take care of it. It's ours. He gave it to us.
And take care of yourself
Yeah.
so you can enjoy it.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah. No, in no way should you be scared or afraid of your partner. Like, if that is the situation, then that is not healthy.
No.
Like, you know, a partner is someone you should feel safe with.
Yes.
When you are, you know, scared or hurt or whatever, you should be able to turn to them. Once they become somebody that's scary to you, no, you need to get out of there.
That's right. Fast.
It will not magically get better. If anything, it will get vastly worse, and it will turn into a very bad situation. So seek out anybody.
Yes.
But most important thing, just get out of there. Like, other things can be worked out. Understand, kids, it's a very difficult situation.
Oh my gosh,
there are
yes.
plenty of shelters that accept women and children, you know, men and children.
Yes.
That happens too. There are also shelters that cater to that. Even like friends, churches, you know, nonprofits, there's always ways to reach out. And, you know, I'll put some of the contact information with the church. If you need to know resources, we're very good at Googling. we can help find stuff. We haven't really talked about where we're based. We're in Southwest, like Michigan, and around Detroit. We also work out in Arkansas. Very random stretch out towards, what is it, like northeast corner. Nobody knows that.
Oh,
Northeast corner of Arkansas. Yeah, but in general, like, you know, I always tell people, like, if you're working with like nonprofits, churches, we're all doing the same thing. Like, some people like to get competitive, but like in general,
yeah.
we're here to help people.
Right.
So like, if you have a problem, you know, we're great. We know resources, so it's important to seek that out.
Yes.
Because you are a gift. And
That's right.
Thank you for just being you. That's the
Yes.
important thing. There's our
You are
positive
the gift.
affirmation for the day. You know, you are a gift to the world.
Yes.
And I want you to see yourself as that. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. So, I'm a strong believer in that.
Mhm.
So, you know, enjoy the little things. Find connections with people. Give them gifts.
Yes.
You know, you never know where a nice, kind word or little gift to somebody, where it'll go.
Yes.
So, you know, it helps you bond. It is a way of showing your love, and it's a passive way that, you know, is maybe feel safer for some people than others. So, yeah. Anything else with giving gifts?
Yeah, I want you to tell a story about your gifts for your girls.
Which one?
The
Did I
ones
talk
that-
about in the other video?
No.
Yeah.
The children. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've got 2 little girls, and every year on their birthday, I give them, like, a little gift. It's like a little Lego thing or, you know, a Pokemon thing. And it's just like, yeah, I like that. For me, it's like that continuity where it's like, okay. And as they grow, it becomes like a bigger thing. And like, as an adult, they'll probably be like, Dad, you gave me so much junk. Like I like to collect things, and I feel like I'm saddling them with it now.
But that's so
But like,
cool.
yeah, and you know, I take pictures, so it's like, you know, as they get older, like, you know, I'll have the scrapbook with like pictures and everything.
That's so
But,
nice.
you know, and it's just something tiny, but it's something to say like, hey, you know, this is my little thing I do for you, you know. And yeah, it's that consistency. I love them. They're lovely.
That's beautiful.
So, a little sassy, but lovely.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, but like I said, it's they know I love them. You know, they're the little gifts. It's a cute little thing to go along with. But sometimes it helps. Like when you lose someone, what is it? Like the various things, the mementos.
Oh wow, yes.
Like, that is almost a gift, like from beyond the grave in a way. Like I have mementos from like my grandparents, where it's like, and they're weird things, like things that like are very like evocative of like them. Like I have a candle holder that my grandmother had.
For real?
I'll show you later.
Oh,
like,
wow.
And you'd be like, that's weird. That's a random little thing.
Yeah.
But it was like something that like my grandmother just always had in her house. Like my grandmother and grandfather. So it's like, it reminds me of them. And like, I don't have a lot of keepsakes.
Yeah, I never met your granddaddy though.
No, you didn't meet either.
Yeah.
You met my mom's mom.
Yeah.
So now we're getting a little personal. We've known each other too long. We're family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's
But,
funny.
and yeah, it's okay. Little gifts are a way of showing love. That's the whole point of doing all these videos, is talking about, like, how to show love, how to reciprocate love. And once we do all the various, different versions, then we'll sort of compile it all together and just talk larger about expressions of love and what it means and all that. But so, yeah, this has been gift giving. Any final thoughts on gifts?
Well,
hey, my birthday's coming up too, so.
Oh yeah. Well,
so
let's see what John wants for his birthday.
Maybe I'll throw up. Like, you people can send me money. That'd be cool. No, I have no expectations of that. No,
that's so funny. But just
if you want to give me a gift, be kind to someone, and like, homeless person, give them something or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a strong believer, like, little kindnesses go way further than you would expect. So be kind. Instead of being a jerk to somebody who deserves it, just leave them by and be nice to someone else. The worst, I always say, like, don't feed the trolls. Like, people who are going to be volatile and around you, like, just don't give them any energy. Because, like, you give them your energy, then, they're winning. I used to, very tangential thing. So I've worked a lot with kids, and, like, I always tell them, I'm like, why are you upset with, like, the insult they told you? Like, is it true? Like, are you a poopy head?
Right.
Like, and they're like, no. And I'm like, why are you mad? Like, you're not that. Like,
that's right.
It's not a big deal,
Yeah.
And it's a big deal. But, like, and sometimes they reframe it and they're like, oh, yeah, like,
that's right.
Why was I so upset?
That's right.
Like, it's not a true thing. And, like, obviously they're a jerk, so why should you care what they think about you? So don't worry how jerks see you. And don't accept gifts from jerks.
No.
That's the other thing I want to talk about is, like, a gift with strings attached is not a gift.
Oh.
That is a trap.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's good.
And it doesn't mean, like, if somebody gives you a gift, like, whatever, I don't have to give you anything.
Right.
But, like, if somebody gives you something with an expectation of something in return, that's not a gift.
Not a gift.
That is a selfish manipulation.
Okay.
Like, they are seeking something from you, and they're using your love language of gift giving to manipulate you into doing something else.
Oh, wow.
They know that you want what they're giving you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they're giving it to you, so that you do something for them. And this can this can be in a relationship, this can be coworkers, this can be do anything. Where, like, I'm sure we've all had somebody be like, hey, I did this thing for you. Can you do this for me?
Right.
And you're like, no. That's called a contract. Let's get that in writing. I ain't paying your bill unless you write that you're paying me that. Stuff like that. So,
legalities.
Freebies are only cool with love. Yeah. So, thanks for joining us. We still have 2 more to cover.
Yes.
So, or whatever order you're watching this in, it doesn't matter. So this has been Gift Giving, the 5 Love Languages. I'm John. This is Sheree. And this is Word Exposed and Outreach. And thanks for joining us. See you next time. I'm going to sit for a minute.